Hey guys, welcome back. This is like the second time in a month or two that you've seen me talking here, so that's exciting, isn't it? But I'm here today because we got 2,000 subscribers, so thank you all very much for that. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the channel, and I put out a poll of what you guys wanted to see for our 2,000 sub special, and you guys decided some behind the scenes. So we're going to be doing that, so let's take a look. So here we have where everything comes together. So we're going to be starting off with the North Korean anthem, just something that I've wanted to do for a while, I haven't done yet, and something a lot of you already know, so that will be good for an example of how the videos are made. So over here we have all the different stuff, all the different languages and everything. So we have like this one's Mongolian, this one looks Thai, but we want Korean, which is this one. So we're just going to drag that to the front here, and we're going to drag it onto the screen here. So now you can see this. These are the lyrics for a North Korean or a South Korean song I was working on. And then we have the leftovers from a previous march I was working on. We're just going to copy the drop shadow from this and paste it on there. And this will probably be the only time you'll see the Mexican Air Force and South Korean lyrics on the same page. So now, all we have to do is type in the Korean and English lyrics for the North Korean anthem. And to do that, all you have to do is double click here, and it brings up the text editor. So we're just gonna go through, add all the text, and then we'll move on to the fun parts. Alright, all the lyrics are now done. So what we're going to do is download the version of the song we're going to use. I'm actually going to use the version from the 2020 parade. So let's get that downloaded. The site I like to use to download my music is YTMP3. And all you have to do is have a YouTube link, paste it in there, press enter, and it'll download it. Just that easy. Then you have to wait for it to convert it. Alright, and here we have our song added. So it goes all the way over to about here. Don't want to make the video go on too long, so you want to bring that back a little bit. Make sure there aren't any dead spaces at the beginning or the end. That way it'll start right as the video starts. Like there. And we also have to get rid of this Mexican flag here, since this clearly isn't a Mexican video. So, what I have the emblem and the flag down here. So we're just going to go and replace each one. So you right click on it and go to replace footage. And then you just want to type in, I believe it's under North Korea. It's probably under DPRK. There it is. DPRK right there. Load that, and then that'll load the emblem above the text. Then we have the flag. We'll also have to change the text in just a second. And then we want, it's either DPRK, yep, DPRK, right there. Select it. Now, sometimes, I don't think it'll do it this time. Oh, it will. You see there's a little black spot right there. That means that the flag doesn't cover that. So we just have to make it a little bigger. So like 135, a little bigger, let's go 138. See if that covers it. Then move around a little bit, and you see there's no more black spot in any of the corners. So that is good. And then we just have to do this. So we have to find the title version of the Korean text right here. Bring it over. We're just going to copy the shadow again. Move that down. And add those. Now the question is, I could just write Eguka, which is how it's pronounced and often called, but literally it means patriotic song. So which one should I do? That's a good question. Most people refer to it as eguka, so I could just do eguka. And then in the title, in parentheses or something, put patriotic song or something like that. But since foreigners refer to it just as this, that's what we'll call it in the video. So now we have this. So now we get to the second fun part, matching up the lyrics with the music. So we have to find where the music lyrics begin. So let's... Right there, I believe. Yes. So right there is where the lyrics begin, which means we're just going to have to go in and put all the lyrics in, go back to where we are. This was the first one. You can tell it's already in because there's a little blue mark there. That means it's in the video. So then we just have to use the rest of the lyrics and drop them in. Alright, since this is the last one, we're just going to take this, hop in here, and make a new version, but make this text bigger. There isn't really a number for the text size. I just do it until it looks right. Just since I've done this a few times, it just looks right. And then we just drag this back. As you can see, this has the cross dissolve on it, so that makes the emblem slowly disappear before the big text appears. Next, we'll want to jump to the first one here and take its shadow and put the shadow on the rest of them. Boom. And then do that, and that adds the cross dissolve between it as well. It's just Control D, and it'll just add that automatically, so you don't have to go and do it one by one. Next step, we have to drag this part in, right there, and then we have to make it a zoom. So we have to go to Effects, just type in cross, and that'll bring up the cross zoom right here. Drag it onto the title for the text. Then about here looks right. And let's see. Could go in a little more. There we go. That's perfect. So you want the text to land as soon as the song starts. As soon as the lyrics start. I think that's good. Maybe we could move it in a little more. Let's see. That looks good. So, this is what we have so far. This is the video right here. We're missing a lot of things. There's a lot of blank space here. There's a lot of blank space behind here. So next, what I do is I find the images for the backgrounds. And all you have to do is just type in whatever the subject is. So I'm just going to be typing in North Korea and finding some good pictures of North Korea. Now, there are some personal rules that I have when I'm making the videos. There's some personal standards that I try to stick to. So, for example, if I used this picture here, there's something wrong here. You can barely read the English text down at the bottom. Just since the font that I use is so thin, it's really hard to see when there's a lot of contrasting colors as the background. So, you don't want to do that. You want to use something like this one instead. This one's clear, you can see the text, no problem. So you want to do something like that. Another thing is that the image can be no longer than 30 seconds. It can be a few seconds if the transition period between the two titles is just a little over. So you either want it to be exactly 30 or as close as it can be, or just match it with the music. So for example, this one we're starting out with, this is the full picture here. So right here, this is 15 seconds, 14 seconds, because it starts at 46. So it's 14 seconds. The music changes here. There is a period. I try to match it up with not only the sentence structure, but the title switching and the music. So every time there's a period, that means it's good to change, as long as it's not over 30 seconds at least. So now we can move to another picture, and then just keep doing that as we go. So at this rate, it looks like every 2 will be a picture. This one is also sort of just a coincidence, but sometimes you'll notice the image matches up with the text. So we have all these modern architecture. We have the hotel, we have Juche Tower here, and then we have talking about rich and cultural heritage, renowned and fame, and we have historical buildings. This one was just a coincidence that I found this picture and put it in this spot. But matching it up also brings people into the video more. And then at the end here, right as it fades, you just want to go a few seconds after the text disappears and put the outro. And right there's the outro that has the Discord, my Instagram, and all that. So then this just gets dragged over there. You want to cut this, add those for the transition, and then in effects, you want to find a Gaussian blur. You put that on there, and watch what happens when you type in 25 and press enter. It blurs it. And that's for every ending of every video, it blurs like that. So then you have this transition. Perfect. So this is what we have so far. All this space is filled in with pictures, and it looks great, if you ask me. So now, we just need video here. So this is where you can really start to find some trouble sometimes. Sometimes there'll be good video to use, high quality, nice looking video. Other times there will be low quality or hard to find video depending on what you're doing. Like if you're doing a Kyrgyzstan version of Katyusha, there aren't a lot of female soldiers in Kyrgyzstan, so finding videos of those can be hard. Believe me, that's a hint for the future. But North Korea, they're everywhere. There's plenty of videos. Since this is the anthem version from the 2020 parade, I'm going to use some clips from that and the 2021 parade. Just the drone clips showing off Pyongyang and the square, because those are really good videos. Alright, and here we have the parade footage from North Korea. This is the 2021 one for the ending of the 8th Party Congress, so we just want some clips from this. We're just going to use some of these and see what we can do. One key to this is making sure that it matches up with the beat of the music. You don't want it to have a weird transition off beat. You want it to be on the beat of the music when it transitions like this. Alright, finished cutting that up. So then all you want to do is take this, move it down here, make sure it's lined up between the flag here, the title, and the text. And then you just want to click between each one, Control or Shift D, and that'll add the smooth transition between the two. So everything has a sort of standard to it, as I said earlier, and I'll say again. The title is always the same length. All it does is change the text and flag background, but the length is entirely the same. The video has to match up to the music, and the images can be no longer than 30 seconds long. They have to be able for you to read the text on it, and sometimes they can match up with the lyrics, like in this one. So that is the video making process. And then to save it, just go up to File, Export, Media. And then when I export it, it's in HD quality 1080p here with 60 FPS. Meaning that if I use any video from YouTube that is in 60 FPS, that will also be in 60 FPS on my video. And then you just save it as a file and export from there. But we're not done yet. Next we need a thumbnail, which is 1280 by 720 at 72 pixels. Because any bigger, YouTube won't take it because they have a very restrictive thumbnail size. In terms of size itself, and in terms of the file size. So 72 pixels, 1280 by 720 size is perfect. So now what we need to do is make the rest of the thumbnail. So we're just going to add the text here, and we have Eguka. Well, in this font, it doesn't work. And every Korean video that I have, except some of the really early ones when I was still establishing the channel, all use this one font. I believe it's Black Hand Sans. Whoops. There it is. Black Hand Sans Regular. And this is the font that I use for the lyrics in all the Korean videos. So we're just going to make that a good size so it's legible as a thumbnail. Remember, thumbnails are very small, so you want the text to be big enough people can easily read it. We're going to put it there. We're going to go down to layers now, down to this little FX here, and just click stroke. Now that just seemed to make it a little bigger, but as we add more, you'll see how that changes. We're going to add inner shadow, which will add an inner shadow to it, of course. Add a color overlay to make it white. Now this will show what the inner shadow really does. So look at the text. Without the shadow, with the shadow. It just adds a little bit of depth to it. Of course, you can make that deeper if you want. We're just going to leave it around 8. And then a drop shadow, which will add the shadow behind it. Now, I don't want it so close to the top, just another personal pet peeve. Just going to line it up, make sure it's centered, and bring it down a little bit, just like that. And then we're just going to drag in a few pictures that I think would work good for the thumbnail that we used in the video. So we have a couple of options here. And we want to make sure that the thumbnail is really visible. So this one won't work. The top of the image doesn't work. You wouldn't be able to see their heads or anything. You'd just be able to see that. So that one will not work. We'll delete it. Next we have the Juche Tower one. Let's see how that does. That one's not bad. Zoom out a little bit so you can get an idea of what it'll look like on YouTube. That's not bad. We'll save that one. Next we have the hotel here, Pyongyang Hotel. That one's also pretty good. We'll save that. We have the flag here, which was the last image used in the video. Now, just because I love flags, showing off the flag for national anthem videos is one of my favorites, so we might just go with this one. And then we have the whole complex here, which does not really look that good as a thumbnail. It's too cluttered, you can't really tell what it is. So that one goes bye-bye. So we have 3 options now. We have Juche Tower here. We have the Pyongyang Hotel. Or we have the flag. So at this point, it's really up to you which one you think looks the best. As long as the text up here is readable, it's a perfect thumbnail. Since the ones of Juche Tower and the hotel are kinda thin since they are tall buildings, the North Korea flag takes up more of the screen, more of the thumbnail, so I'm gonna use that one. And then all we have to do is go to File, Save As, change this to a PNG, and just write Agakayan and press Save. Press OK to save it as a large file, and boom, you're done. Alright, well if you enjoyed, you can go watch the video that we made in this video right up there. So go check that out. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for getting the channel to 2,000 subscribers. That's a huge number. We're still going, still finding rare songs to put out. So thank you all, and I'll see you all next time my face appears on this channel for some reason.